because it's been like 2.5 or 3 weeks since we did the last podcast, on the last podcast, we were talking about the Coach revival, right? And then very shortly after, I know it was before we posted the podcast because I made a note of it. I even said, if we knew about the Full House revival, when we would have talked about it, the Full House revival, of course, but it broke right after we recorded.
Yeah.
But since then, not only did we hear that the Full House revival was possible, but now it's happening.
Yeah.
It's 100% confirmed.
Fullest of houses.
Well, it's called
Fuller
House. Yes. And so, Netflix is bringing back Full House. 13 new episodes. Fuller House.
Fullest of Fuller. I don't think it's a bad move on their part in the sense of like, it obviously hits the very obvious nostalgia note of bringing back, we saw sort of what a frenzy that surrounded Girl Meets War.
Girl Meets Werewolf. That'd be an amazing show.
Girl Meets War.
Girl Meets War would also be an amazing show.
Whole different series. That obviously there was a fan frenzy around that for people that had been attached. I think the same thing will happen with Full House. And it hits a target audience, if you're going to talk about quadrants. It hits a target audience that Netflix hasn't really hit in their original programming yet, which is family. So it has like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, they have the DreamWorks deal, and they're doing like the new How to Train Your Dragon show, but that's, it's more recent stuff, whereas like, this has, like, Girl Meets World is a good analogy because it can be both. It can be the multi-generation thing. I grew up with that, and I have a kid who maybe will watch it.
But I even think that I think the DreamWorks stuff is going to be great, but I even actually think that that's not so much a full family show in the sense of like mom, dad, young kids, and even possibly grandparents. Like I feel like Fuller House is hitting potentially all of those targets. I also, there's a part of me that feels like I am living within a surreal fever dream on television, because let's talk about the plot.
Yeah, can we talk about the plot? I mean, just the fact that DJ is now named DJ Tanner Fuller, so they can justify the title in universe. Because the original show was just called Full House, because it's a full house.
It was plenty of people in the house, but now it's Fuller.
But now it's Fuller House, so it's like, if you didn't watch the original, why is this called Fuller House? Oh, because her name's Fuller, see?
It's a double meaning.
But the setup is hysterical, because if you describe this to someone, it's like, DJ Tanner Fuller, pregnant and recently widowed, living in San Francisco.
So dark.
Yes. And now it's about her pregnant and widowed. She has 2 boys, and guess what? Stephanie, her sister, who's an aspiring musician now, and Kimmy Gibbler.
So Kimmy is coming back.
Kimmy and her feisty teenage daughter, who I bet's a little chip off the old block.
I bet she is.
They all move in together.
Yeah.
What do you got then? Got a Fuller House.
Fuller House. And I think what's crazy to me about this is that you made this joke earlier, and it's really true. In the world of sitcoms, death is less dark than divorce.
Right, because they had to make that decision. They're like, because they didn't want they didn't want the dynamic to be like, 2 parents and they wanted to somewhat match the original.
Yeah, except instead of 3 adult men this time, and there's
3
kids,
adult
3
women,
adult women,
and 3 kids.
See how that changes everything?
The 4th on the way. But they're like, but if she's just married, and plus it's a little harder to justify why she'd need help and everything.
Yeah.
And so they had to make that decision. Well, they could be divorced, and the dad could pop up once in a while. No.
You know what?
Kill him. Kill him dead.
Anybody who has the notion that it's hard to justify why you need help with children has never been around them for longer than 20 seconds.
Right.
You need like 15 people per child.
Not to mention housing is so expensive in San Francisco that of course you feel like everyone move in.
Well, that's the other,
try to afford this place.
That's the other interesting thing is that to me, it does hit on like the realities of our economic time, where people really, single moms, like, if you're going to live in a house like that, you're going to need some help.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty of Fuller House.
Let's do it.
And the fact that John Stamos made the announcement on Jimmy Fallon that this was happening for sure, and is attached as a producer. So guess what? There's no way Uncle Jesse ain't showing up. In the premiere.
Uncle Jesse will show up. I don't think Uncle Jesse will necessarily be a part of every episode.
No.
But he'll be around to lend his guidance and support.
He'll be around, pop up. But then Lori Loughlin did an interview today, because now everyone wants to get the scoop on the Fuller House.
Of course.
Saying that it sounds like the rest of the people, your Sagets, your Couliers, and of course your Olsen twins, no one else is signed on. They'd like them all to pop up, and they'll see what happens.
What do you give you have to literally find a golden hen to give the Olsen twins anything that they don't already have.
And I don't know. It's like, I don't want to get into people's personal psyche. Because I do. But I will say I've noticed when there's been a couple times when it's like a Full House reunion, just meaning like they all got together for a gathering, and the Olsen twins are never there.
Yeah.
But you do have to remember, they were freaking young.
They were babies.
They wouldn't have the same connection. They might have I remember those people being nice to me when I was a little kid, but they wouldn't have the same connection all the rest of the cast, including the kids who grew up on the show as older teenagers, would have.
No, of course they would. They were really, how old were they when the show ended?
I don't know. They must have been nearing 10?
Yeah, but very young. Yeah. And if you think about your memories of that age and the things that you did, you don't have that level of attachment.
And already just counting money. So.
And they were already just Scrooge McDucking down the piles of gold.
So if they do, because they don't need the money and there's not an amount that I don't think they can meet their quote, it would have to be I'm doing this, we're doing this, has a thank you sort of thing. I would not expect, if they get them, it's a one-off. I don't expect them popping in and out. And even, who would play Michelle?
Exactly. That's my question, is how do you even do it? It doesn't even work. It's madness, really. And also, they don't do much on camera. They don't do much acting. I think they're done.
One of them did Weeds. That was the last big thing I remember. Yeah.
Which one? Was it Mary Kate or was it Ashley?
I think it was Ashley.
Work it out.
I think it was Ashley. She was at TCA to talk about it. It was an amazing moment. So Fuller House, people, get ready. They named her DJ Tanner Fuller.
It's so amazing.
It's pretty amazing. All right.
But their profit margin just exploded even more.
Yeah. We live in amazing times.